Alright, thanks for getting here with me today, YouTube. Got a little stuff to talk about. Now, as most people know that have watched my old channel, Terminated by YouTube, or WKAT, or this channel, I have spent over the last year and a half mainly looking into the Delphi murders. You know, ex-military police investigation is kind of my style. I mean, it is what I do. When, before the Delphi murders happened, that's what I did on my old channel. I talked about what I seen going on in the world and why. That's why people like that channel. Well, I want to talk about some conclusions that I've made concerning the Delphi murders. Now, over the last year and a half, I have been out to the Monon High Bridge Trail numerous times. Now, I went out there over a year ago, and I went down the south side of the bridge, right down the hill where he said go down the hill. Now, there's a 70-foot hill that slowly goes down, okay? And right down the side of the bridge, right there, and it reaches a car path that comes in off that driveway and heads straight up to Deer Creek. And I followed that all the way up to Deer Creek. Now, I was, at that time, under the impression that the bodies were found to the right and across Deer Creek. But they weren't. And upon looking at this and us finding where they was found right across from that car path. He took them down that car path, crossed the creek, bam. Now, right there where the bodies were found, he was clear of anyone seeing him. Anyone. He could not be seen by the trails. He could not be seen from the bridge. He knew that. He totally knew that if he got him to there, because he was stalking that area, he was waiting for someone to show up to fit his mental image of what he wanted in a victim. When two girls showed up who were unsupervised and there was nobody around, once they headed across that bridge to his south side, he looked behind him, nobody was coming, went across and abducted him. Now, as he's crossing that bridge quickly and looking behind him, that tip would be off. She put the phone on video record. That's what caught his image and his audio. He got him over there. Now, I have been to that area where the girls were found. It's in an area where Ronald Logan keeps his horses, and it's got trails going through that the horses make, from right down where the bodies were found, all the way up to a cemetery. But the thing is this man was stalking that area. He didn't want to be seen there. He didn't want to be known as a face that's around there. He stayed hidden. In fact, when the girl showed up, and probably everybody except for the woman, who I believe happened upon him, he stayed hidden. That way, when somebody came in, he could see if it fit his mental image of what he wanted, and if they were unsupervised, and if any hikers were coming around. When the girl showed up unsupervised, he followed them down to the bridge. And again, once he seen they was heading to the south side, he cut across, got him, took him to that area that he knew about, right there, and then got out. Now, he had just committed 2 murders. He didn't want to be on the road. He didn't want to be seen. He didn't want people to know that he was there. So he split up the 501 trail, staying off the road. Now, at that time, the flannel shirt guy was coming from Freedom Bridge, walking down to the Monon High Bridge. When he seen the flannel shirt guy, his thought was probably like, shit. But the flannel shirt guy passed him, and the flannel shirt guy said, I seen him leaving. So we know that he was heading to Freedom Bridge, okay? The killer didn't have a car, nor did he hitchhike, nor did he get on a road where he could have been seen. So this tells me something. When he got to Freedom Bridge, he walked to where he was going. He was very local. He had been there. He had stalked that area, and he had waited. He had waited for the right time. Now, if you look on Google Maps, and you look at Freedom Bridge right there on 25, where can you go and not be seen? You can follow that trail back. You can follow that trail directly westward, make a right, cut across that road, hit the railroad tracks, take the railroad tracks into town and be in the residential area in just so many minutes. The guy's from Delphi. I should say was from Delphi. And I say that for a reason. He got to where he was going without being seen leaving, except by flannel shirt guy. Nobody seen him on the highway. Nobody seen a guy dressed like that walking away. He wasn't on any cameras, nor did he drive a car. So where do you think he could have went? Right into Delphi. It's the only thing that fits. That's it. He knew that area. He'd been through it multiple times, trying not to be seen. Now, I mean, I can't put a name to this guy, nor do I think he lives there now. Because he's on top of the news. He knew what he did. He knew his picture was there, all pixelated. He knew that. He knew his audio was there. And he knew that two people had seen him. Composite sketch. Well, he's not going to hang out around Delphi knowing that he could run into any one of those two people and he'd be hit on the spot. He left. He had to move. So it was a guy that lived right there in Delphi, probably in the residential area, between the bridge and the residential area right there, that moved. Now, given the time of day at 2 o'clock p.m. on a Monday, or was it a Tuesday? Tomato. It was a work day. This says that either A, he worked a night shift, or B, was disabled. He had a pistol or a knife. It had to have been something pretty intimidating to take two girls without them screaming or running. It had to be something that put him under immediate duress, do what I say. So we know it's a guy that fits this description. I'm positive he don't live there now. And the truth is, if I seen Bridge Guy, if I was in Delphi and I had seen Bridge Guy after the fact, not dressed like that, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know it was him. Nobody would. Nobody would. The images that they gave us are pixelated. You cannot tell anything from that. Well, he's got a blue jacket on. Yeah, blue jeans. Might be a hat, might be hair. Might be a fanny pack, might be a shirt. Well, I don't know. But you can't tell anything definitive about his face. The police know that. The police have known that all along. But they won't give you what you need. They won't give you what you need to solve this. Don't know why. Sounds a little fishy by lying law enforcement, but that is how it is. The guy had moved. Now, I'm going to say that the guy couldn't have went far. The guy couldn't have moved real far. Maybe he could have, but I don't think he's got that much money. Most people that commit a crime like that, more or less just living off of what they make. Could be disabled. Could be any number of ways that he was getting by. Could have camped there for a while. But again, he had some place to go that was local. They could have found that, if it was like at the time, right at the time. But it was the next day when the girls were found. It makes me wonder, who fits this description? Who lived there that moved sometime shortly after? Who was there? Who knew that area? Who went out in the days for extended times that people in Delphi knew? Who is that person? If you live in Delphi and you can name a person that fits what I'm telling you, that may be him. That very well may be him. Now, I'm sure he had reasons for leaving. You got to. You can't just say, well, I got to get out here. I'm a bridge guy. They're going to hit me. It can't be like that. You got to have other reasons why you got to leave. You find me that person, you're probably looking at bridge guy right there. Now, I'm going to say this as well. Looking at the images that they gave us makes him look fat. It really does. Makes him look like a tubby fat guy. I don't think that he's that big. I don't think he's big. Okay? That image is heavily pixelated. He's wearing a hoodie with a jacket over it, with a shirt. He's got stuff in his coat right here. Probably tools needed. I don't think he's that big. I'm not saying he's little, but what I mean is I don't think that he fits that bill of a bigger fat guy. And if that's what people are looking for, that's where we're being led astray. We're looking for a fat guy that walks funny. Well, we never seen him walk. Those are still images of a couple steps he took. You're looking down. You can't see the guy's face. It's all pixelated. You cannot make out who that person is. He had been on Ron Logan's property before, and he knew those trails were there. He knew exactly where he was going when he left. He went up, made a left, staying off the roads, didn't want to be seen leaving there, didn't want to be seen at all. He wanted to get to Freedom Bridge and get the hell out. The only person that saw him at that time was Flannel Shirt Guy, who was coming in as he was walking out. That's how we know he was leaving. If Flannel Shirt Guy had seen him on the opposite side of the secondary entrance that the girls came in, he could have said he was heading west. But he said he was leaving, so we know that he was past that point and heading toward the bridge when Flannel Shirt Guy came in off the bridge into the trail. It's just what I've kind of pieced together. But listen to what I'm saying. I'm correct on this. Before anybody says, how do you know? Huh? How do you know that? Well, the simple thing is here is that even with FBI, they use statistical evidence. Normally, in this case, that person will, and that's how you do that. Now, I'm looking at how that went down, and I looked at that area, and I can tell you that it went down approximately and almost exactly like that. I brought it up to Tobe Lesenby. I said no car was ever mentioned. If he had used the car, I know two people right away that would have seen that car. You know how long it would have took the FBI to find a guy driving that car that fit that description? Very quick. He didn't have a vehicle, nor did he hitchhike. He went out on the highway hitchhiking. Man, everybody in Indiana has seen that video, and somebody said, yeah, I picked somebody up right there by the bridge. Man, they were standing out there with a thumb out. Everybody would have turned that guy in. He got out of there that fast, and he hit home. He hit to where he was going, walking. Delphi, Indiana. Know it. Anyway, that's about all I really wanted to point out. Also, man, I never got anything from Tobe Lesenby about the timestamp of when his picture was taken by Libby. But I can tell you that the guy knew that bridge because he had crossed it many times in the past. He knew where he was going, where he was taking him, how he was leaving. He had it all mentally set up right in his head, exactly how it was going to play out. Again, it was a crime of convenience. When the girl showed up unsupervised, nobody was around. It just happened like that. He may or may not have been after a young girl. I mean, seriously, if you go out to that trail in February on a nice day, do you think a young girl like that's going to show up unsupervised? No, ain't going to happen. He went out there on that day because there might be a hiker. There wouldn't be a lot of hikers. It was a day where he could have pulled this crime off. And it happened. Crime of convenience. About all I got on that. But I just wanted to throw that out. I appreciate you viewing. And if you have anything to add to this, anything that you may know, please drop it in the comments or get a hold of me on Facebook or email me at mrcat420@gmail.com. Appreciate you all viewing. I'll see you in my next video. Peace, everyone.